What's up, YouTube? I'm currently on a freaking morning walk getting my steps in. I highly recommend anyone with a step goal to do the same if you are able to do so. Getting steps in the morning is peak. But what this video is going to be is I just made a 7.5-minute yap session on TikTok talking about the differences between competing in the OCB versus the NPC, because not many people know that there's differences, and there are major differences. So I'm going to be uploading it here. The aspect ratio, or like whatever, like I'm fitting the screen for YouTube right now, it is not going to be like that because it was filmed for TikTok. It's just going to be like small vertical, like here to here, which is kind of annoying that I can't fix that and make it better for YouTube. I didn't plan to upload it to YouTube, but I think people on YouTube would like it, so I'm gonna also upload it there, even though it's not in the right aspect ratio, but whatever. It's basically like things you should know if you're if you're planning to compete in the NPC and the OCB, what you should know the differences will be, and just things like that. I probably will be making videos about like just in general federation to federation what a show day will be like, because me personally, I had no idea what was going on show day. I was so stressed, like unneeded stress was added. When it's supposed to be a day of fun and showing off all the hard work you've done, I was stressed because I had no idea what was happening half the time. It's kind of unorganized sometimes, but it, like, the end all be all is your coach should tell you what the schedule will be like, and that wasn't like given to me. Basically, I was so confused the entire time. But I don't think it's fair for federations to like have coaches be the people who lay out the layout of what shows will be like. I think they should give like a layout of what the show's going to be like. They give a rough layout, like time of when people are going on, and that's about it. But they can't just rely on coaches to do that for people, because at least half the time they don't, and some people don't even have coaches. So I think there needs to be more information online about what a show day will look like and how to go about signing up for shows and just things like that. So I'm probably going to be making more content about that, but I'm going to be putting the clip of me talking about the OCB first NPC show now, so I hope y'all enjoy and learn something from that. As somebody who's competed in both the OCB and NPC for bodybuilding shows, I know firsthand that competing in both federations is very, very different. Now, I competed first in the NPC, and then 2 weeks after that NPC show, I did an OCB show, and it was insane how different the experience was. So I'm going to be going over the major differences, or like the key differences that I noticed that I think that you guys should know if you're going to compete in both or just one. I'm going to preface this by saying I am a classic physique competitor, so I will not be 100% about like open bodybuilding, or definitely not men's physique. I don't really know much about what they do, but this is mainly about classic physique, but obviously open will be pretty similar. Okay, first and foremost, if you are competing in the OCB, make sure that you are practicing your side poses on both sides. In the NPC, you can pick which side you want to do your side pose on, like side chest, side try, but in OCB, you have to hit it on both sides, which I did not know until I was up on stage. They literally called side chest while I was on my left side, and I turned back around to hit a right side chest, and they literally told me I needed to turn back around and hit on the other side. Mind you, I've never hit a side chest on my left side, so I was like a deer in the headlights up there. So that is why I am starting the video with that. You need to practice both sides of your side poses if you're going to be competing in the OCB. In the NPC, you can pick your side, but OCB, you have to do both. So don't be like me, don't be a deer in the headlights up there on the stage. That's the last thing that you want. The next thing that I'm going over is routine length. This is 100% for classic, and I'm like 90% sure it's the same for open, but in the OCB, you only get a 30-second posing routine. However, in the NPC, you get a full minute. So if you are doing an NPC show, plan for a longer routine, or you don't have to hit that minute mark, but you have a minute like maximum. And then in the OCB, either make a different shorter routine or just do a shorter version of your minute-long routine that you're going to do for NPC. And the third thing to note is how long OCB versus NPC shows tend to run. Now, I did the NPC show first, like I said, and I think the show started at around 12 p.m., went till around 3 for prejudging, then there was like a 2-3 hour window, so I think it was 2 hours, and then finals started at 5 p.m., and then the show ended up ending at like 8 p.m. So I was there from probably 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is 10 hours I was there at the venue. 10 hours of basically being so dehydrated. It was a very long day, but by the end of it, it was all worth it. But just playing for a very, very long day for an NPC show. However, in the OCB, it literally goes from pre-judging straight to finals. There is no like intermission between pre-judging and finals. There may be like a 5-10 minute intermission, but there's not like a 2-hour window in between interviews in the NPC, which I much prefer the OCB's route. I hate that huge window of being in the venue for the entire day, basically. I think I was at the OCB venue for a total of like 2 hours, and I got there like semi-early, so yeah, I was in and out, competed, and it was still an amazing experience. Like, you don't gain anything from being there for a longer time. Like, you still get the same amount of time up on the actual stage, so I much prefer the OCB's way of just going from pre-judging straight into finals. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the cost. So OCB shows, for every single like different cost that there is, are going to be cheaper than NPC shows. Tanning, the federation membership, the cost for each class, everything is going to be cheaper in the OCB compared to the NPC. So as someone who's competed in the NPC like non-tested shows, there are NPC natural shows, but I did a non-tested one. I don't think it's worth the cost, honestly, unless like you're a very well-developed natural athlete. I do not recommend doing an unnatural NPC show. It is not worth the cost. Just do an OCB show. There's other natural federations, or just do an NPC natural show. It's not worth it. I just thought of another thing. In the OCB, you cannot cross over categories. So you can't do like classic, men's. You can't do multiple different categories. But in the NPC, if you wanted to, you could literally do open bodybuilding, classic bodybuilding, men's physique. You could do all those, all the different classes for those. It doesn't matter. But OCB, they limit you to one category. So assess your physique. Think if you're more men's physique, classic physique, open, you can only pick one. So for the OCB, you need to pick your best. But obviously, if you're doing an NPC show, you can do as many as you want if you wish. I'm getting to the very, very minor details here because I can't think of anything else. But you will be getting a numbered pin no matter what federation you do. You will always get a number because that's how the judges like call you out. Like, number 39, please move like in place of number 27. Like, that's how they move people around. They don't know your names, they know your number. And in the OCB, you have one in the front and you also have one in the back, but in the NPC, you only have the one in the front. But this tip applies to any federation that you do. Please make sure that you put the pin in a spot that the judges are able to see. So like left side, like right around here, not on the outside, or they will literally, the judges will call you out while you're up on stage posing and tell you to move it. And that will throw you off a lot. That'll throw off your mental. It'll mess everything up. Just have it in a spot that the judges are able to see so nothing like that happens to you. It hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen to people, and after that happens, like, they're just embarrassed. They completely lose confidence. They're not in the zone like they were before, and it's unfortunate. So just make sure that the judges are able to see your numbered pin. That's all I could think of off the top of my dome piece right now of like the differences between the OCB and the NPC and like what you need to know for competing in which federation. So if you guys have competed in both and you have noticed like any key differences that I forgot to mention, I would appreciate if you commented them below, because I just want to spread awareness. Because honestly, I was like going into these shows, I had no idea what it was like supposed to look like and how it was going to be set up. It was very confusing, to be honest. Like, obviously I've competed now, so I'm going to be good for my next shows, but it was very like stressful and I was so confused on show day. So I just want to come on here and talk about my experiences so people aren't like a deer in the headlights like I was. So I hope this video was able to help you guys in any way. If you are planning to compete soon or ever, I wish you guys luck. It is an amazing experience. I highly recommend anyone to compete. It was like, those two shows were two of the best days of my life. Genuinely, I love competing. So I'm currently 20 weeks out from my first competition of the season, and I could not be more excited. So hope y'all enjoyed the yap session. Holy 7-minute yap session. But yeah, peace.